had that was raised recently.
Next year around. What the last week, 2 weeks ago, there's something.
Okay, I think we're on.
Right.
Um, if the Abisha said there should be light, right? So if there was light, so probably there was a sun, right? So what does it mean that on Wednesday, that all of a sudden on Wednesday there was the Abisha made the sun and the moon? All the Mefarshim talk about it. The Sephorno says that until the Abishta put the sun and the moon up in the sky on Wednesday, it was artificial light. It was light. It was a godly light. It was a nest. And afterwards is beteva. But one of the things that seems that when the Abishta put the sun and the moon on Wednesday, the Abishta said that it should be lemoyedim, leyamim v'shonim. And Rashi says, even though the Eden weren't around yet, but it was for the future that the Eden will be able to be keveya with the sun and with the moon and with the stars. The Eibishter made that the Eden will be able to keveya what's a day and what's a night and what's a Yom Tov and what's a Shabbos.
Right.
So I'll talk about three questions that came up recently. That has to do with time. I'll jump straight into the second question just in case we run out of time because it was something that was mamish relevant now. So let's jump straight into the second question. There's a younger man in Beis Menachem that had a mazel tov. Chaim Mos had a baby boy. So I walk out of the oil because we went with the Chosn and Kala, Naseres Yimei Tshuva. And as I walk out the oil, he calls me up. They had a baby boy.
Mm-hmm.
Mazel tov. The baby was born. The baby was born at 6:56 between Tuesday and Wednesday before Yom Kippur. No, so what's the 6:56? Sunset that day was 6:39.
In the 18 minutes.
6:39 was sunset. So he asked me what to do. I just walked out of the oil.
You know, the breath?
Yeah.
Was already. Short day.
Oh, so you already know. You know the answer already. Okay. I didn't even have to tell. Peretz knows already. So
I used to go by.
yeah. So I told him, Nemesis, I was thinking in my mind, 5.5, 6 degrees of it. I'm going to tell someone on the phone 6 degrees. I said, take 2 minutes plus 25 minutes and see if you could squeeze it in before or after. So it didn't work. Basically, the baby was born Bein Hashomosos. And then when I had time, I looked at Hebrew dates. Even if we go, let me explain. Even if you will go with saying that Bein Hashomosos finishes when the sun dips 5.5 under the horizon, the baby was born Bein Hashomosos. The baby was definitely born Bein Hashomosos. Anyway, I think it's really 6. So the baby was born between sunset and say Shloisha Kachavim. So he was born Bein Hashomosos. The baby was born Bein Hashomosos. So
the 6 that Rabbi mentioned is the degrees.
Huh?
What's the 6 that the Rabbi mentioned?
That the sun
degrees.
goes under the horizon 6 degrees. So it was Amen. So that day, to say 6 degrees under the horizon is 7:08, and the baby was born 6:56. You can't squeeze it in, and it's too far. A minute or two, you could say. And usually the nurse is not so medactic. So, but you can't. Sunset was 6:39, and the nurse wrote 6:56. However you slice it, this baby was born Bein Hashomosos. The baby was born Bein Hashomosos. You can't make the bris on Tuesday. Okay, you can't make the bris on Wednesday because that's Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath. So I told him to make the bris on Thursday. And that's what he did. He was very happy. Vaila's father-in-law was able to come in from Switzerland for the bris. Now he called me and asked me about the Pidyon Haben. So Pidyon Haben, very simple. I told him right away. You should look in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, in the Seder B'Chatzananim, Perik Yud Gimel Alocha Yud Gimel. Alter Rebbe has a simple formula for what does it mean 30 days. It has to be oven. In other words, day 31 means if you look, say it was a Sunday, Birchasariya or Pidyon Haben. Sunday, go 4 weeks later and look at Tuesday. It's your day. Sunday to Tuesday, Monday to Wednesday. That's very good. So you have so he would baby Nanich, the baby was born on Wednesday. So the Pidyon Haben should be on Erev Shabbos. A little bit of a problem. Pidyon Haben on Erev Shabbos. Someone just in basement, Achamandel Yosef Yitzchaki, just had a Pidyon Haben 2 weeks ago. It was on Erev Shabbos. They made it over here in the whole America's a Simcha. It was called the Pidyon Haben was called for 8 o'clock in the morning. By 9 o'clock, they were already serving Chinese chicken and stir fried steak.
And that is
Yeah,
You exaggerating?
no, I'm not exaggerating.
No.
I'm not exaggerating one bit.
Now you tell me.
I should have filled up my portion double, give it to you. I couldn't eat it, but I could just about have a coffee at that time in the day. But to make it worse, that the emphasis that Alter Rebbe, it's a machlok is a poskim. Even Friday morning, if you're allowed to invite more than 10 krovim, because the Gemara says that to make a big suda shal nishta, the Gemara in Gittin, Chazal made us was scared that a guy is going to make a big suda on Friday, even if it's early in the morning, carried away, and they're not going to have appetite to have suda Shabbos.
So a purpose is there's a big exception to that.
Right, because it's a chiyuv on that day, right? We spoke about it many times when it came to the Purim Suda. We already, this is not our first time on this sugya. The Alter Rebbe paskins that you should invite only 10 people and only the people that are related. Okay, you know what? Even with a bris, I haven't seen anyone be so medactic. Whatever, you make a bris. It's a Friday morning. No one. But the other thing is that the Alter Rebbe says in Shulchan Aruch that if a Pidyon Haben is not Zmana, Pidyon Haben has been pushed off, then you're not allowed to do it on Friday. So you say this is not really considered pushed off. It's not pushed off. It wasn't. The Alter Rebbe says even be'oinus, if it's been pushed off, the person was in jail or he didn't know. They shouldn't do it on Friday. First of all, this is Sveika Diyama. This is what Chazal said. You should do it the next day. Second of all, in the Siddur, the Alter Rebbe changed his mind, it seems. The Alter Rebbe holds a person that doesn't do Pidyon Haben is over every day. Could be in the Shulchan Aruch, he didn't hold that he's over B'chol Yom. Because Alter Rebbe says that Mila, there's no such thing. Mila is Hayom Zmanu. Shaying a Pidyon Haben, you can push it off. But according to the Siddur, he says that Pidyon Haben must be done that day, over of Kol Yom. So I have no problem making the Pidyon Haben if Chaim wants to have a nice steak breakfast, black coffee and steak and fries, gesundheit.
There's a few students, right?
Yeah, because it's Pesum Enisse, so this mitzvah. So no problem. If he wants to do it, that's no problem.
You incorporate it into the Friday night meeting.
No, you read now the Shach. You'll see why not. So let's skip to the middle of the page. I want to skip over without the Simon test because I just want to get to look in the middle of the page. Shulchan Aruch Yeredei Simon Shin Hey Shach Sivkot Yud Beis. Look in the Shach. The Shach says like this. The Minig Yisrael is to do a Pidyon Haben by day, not by night. Why? Nidin, the Shach says the Pidyon Haben by night. Pidyon Haben could be by night. What's the difference by day, by night? The Kiddushin, the Chokteser from an Aleph, the Rashi, the Tosfos Shach. Miu Noigim lift is by Yom. The Minig is to do by day. Shach doesn't say why. But if the day, the 30, it has to be 30 days past. The Pidyon Haben is on day 31. If it was on a day of a Taina Sibur, Yeshliris. Imi Gia Ben Lechof Tes Yud Beis Tashat Tzag, Koydem Yom HaTainis, Shu Yom Lamed, Yeshlif Doisa B'Yom Lamed, Acher Chof Tes Yud Beis Tashat Tzag. Kedlakabon Sefkot Yud Tes. Let me explain. The cycle of the moon, we're talking about this, the cycle of the moon is not the cycle of the moon. The cycle of the moon is not. The moon is very complicated. The cycle of the moon is Chof Tes Yud Beis Tashat Tzag. Chazal didn't have minutes and seconds; they had chalokim, and there is 1,800 chalokim in a minute. So, huh? How much?
1,080?
I'm sorry, 1,080
In a minute?
in a minute.
No, not in that.
In a what?
No.
In an hour?
No.
Huh?
Oh, it's 3 seconds. Okay.
Oh, three. Okay, I'm sorry. So in an hour, 1,800 chalokim. No. 1,080 chalokim. It's not in an hour. Give a go. Anyway, the cycle of the Levana is 29 days, 12 hours, and 793 chalokim. That's the cycle of when we make 1 month of Moli, 1 achosed, because we want to straighten that. Chazal say that the chodesh yomim atem chashuv l'chadoshim v'lo shos. You can't make a month having hours. Chazal will go. The Torah said that a month has to be days. So because it's 29 and a half days, so what do you do? So 1 month has 29 days, and 130, 29, 30, 29, 30, 29.
And arbitrary.
Problem is that it's not, if the moon had a perfect cycle of 29 and a half would be perfect. Problem is it's off by a little bit. It's not 29 and a half. It's 29, 12 and 12 hours and 793 chalokim. So to account for that, we do all kinds of tricks. You know, sometimes there's a year that Kislev and Kislev and Kasher and Kislev are both Malayim, are both Chasam. One is Mali, one is Chasa. We do tricks and tricks and tricks to straighten it out. So, what's the reason why we wait for a child to be after 30 days? Because he shouldn't be a nefil. He should know that the child is living. And the Torah says you have to wait a month for that. So the Shach holds a month with the baby doesn't mean the month on the calendar. It means from when he went out of his mother's womb, you count 29 days, 12 hours, and 793 chalokim. So who cares that it's not day 31 yet? If it's before day 31, well, who cares? So if the Pidyon Haben is on a tainus, and you can count the hours and you can squeeze it in before the tainus, do it then. Yeah. He keeps on going back and forth in his own mind. It's a very funny shach. There isn't a firsa. Is he going to make the pidyon on one day and the suda another day? The suda has to meet mefarsim the pidyon, mefarsim the mitzvah. Mishkos of Trumas Adeshin, Simen Reish, Samachtes Gabe, Chol Yom Lamadal of the Shabbos. Even if then about Shabbos, Shlo Yochel Pidyon Ad Lakar Shloishim. If the guy's going to be a chochem and give Friday the money to the kohen and say it will be fal tomorrow, Deich Yaseh Masuda lefarsim a mitzvah. Deutsche Ein Bnei Podu. Vim Yaseh Suda b'Shabbos Shekvaru Pode. My name alone di Kepersum Kagavna. Sheino Yon Pidyon b'Shas Suda. Ad Kan. Mi Shemaiti Shenogim Liftas B'Yom HaTainis V'Las Suda B'Leila Shel Acher HaTainis V'Yishlachalak Ba. Okay. What we see from the Shach is the Shach had no problem if you wanted to make the Pidyon Haben by night because there's a good reason. Marshal is a tainus sibur. So make it by night. He didn't have a problem with breaking the minig, doing it. The minig, he doesn't know why. There's a minig to do Pidyon Haben by day. Do the minig. But if it's a tainus, so what are you going to do? Do it by right, the night before, the night after. Okay, now on this issue that he holds that
Just like by a bris.
You always do a bris during the day.
No, I mean the Suda is at night.
It's always the first year.
no different than a bris, different than a bris.
Rabbi, my grandson was born to Shabbat, not to Shabbat, 8 days before, and we made the birth in the shul, 4 o'clock afternoon, and then 8 o'clock, we made the Seudah in my house.
Right.
That's what I was talking
So,
about.
That's what the Shach says. Maybe do that, and then he says maybe it won't be so clear that the Suda, even though by bris we do that. No, there's sasvora. So you should do the Pidyon Haben the night before, the night after. Maybe you should do it by day and then by. He leaves it like open, but you see that the Shach didn't get bent out of shape out of making a Pidyon Haben by night. That was a possibility. Now the Magen Avraham and Ohr HaChaim in Shimla Mates argues against the Shach on this one issue. He says there's no such thing with a baby to count 29 days, 12 hours, and 793 chalokim. The Torah says you have to count days. There's no such thing. All the points can pass in that way. Shmakach Sam Sofer, mentioning Sam Sofer because the Shabbos, Yortzeit was recently. Sam Sofer says the Gemara in the Mem Tes in Pachodes, the Gemara says what happens if he gave the coin the Pidyon on day 30th, and then the baby died. So on day 31, and then the baby died. And Chacham said that the Pidyon, that's it. The Pidyon is chal. And the Sam Sofer says Machlokes Rebbe Akiva and Chachamim that if he has to give it, the baby died, does the coin have to give back the money or not? So he says that the Machlokes of Rebbe Akiva has a suffix and Chachamim Vadai that Chachamim hold that when the Torah said it has to be a full month, it means that you have to have a full. You have to add a few hours. You have to. And Rebbe Akiva said maybe you could subtract a few hours. You have to round it up. The Torah says you're rounding it up or you're rounding it down. That's what some Sofer says. That you have to round it up. That means you have to have 30 full days. But once you have 30 full days, there could be sometimes you have 30 full days, but you didn't yet have 29 days, 12 hours, and why? What happens in our case? A baby is born. Say a baby is born 1 minute. I say the baby was born on Wednesday, 1 minute before Shkia. So you say, oh, Wednesday to Friday, that's 31 days. Friday, not Friday, Leil Shishi, Thursday night, a minute after Seisa Kechavim, you're going to do the Pidyon Haben. So technically, you did day 31. But you know what? You didn't yet get to the hours. So Zog, the Noid Bihuda, many big poiskim. You don't need even more than the Noid Bihuda. That's why the minhag is always to wait to make the Pidyon at the Ben the next morning. Mishum loy plug. Because we hold that you need to have 30 full days, but you also need to have that the baby lived. There's exodus cost of you have to wait 30 full days, but there's also it has to be that the kid lived at least 29 days, 12 hours, and 793 chalokim. So therefore, a minhag Yisrael Torah is to say, you know what? Look, let's never do the Pidyon Haben the night before. Now, if this is the reason, like the Noda Yehuda says, so then in our case, the kid was born. You could say loy plug when the kid was born any time in the day, but here this kid was not born on Wednesday. He was born on the Bein Hashomosos between Tuesday and Wednesday. We're saying Mesofik, we should start counting. Mesofik, we're starting to count from Wednesday. But give me a break. Give me a break. By the time it's Thursday night, 4 weeks later, the baby's for sure already gone through 29 days, 12 hours, and 793 chalokim. So maybe over there the minhag doesn't apply. So there's a Sefer Pidyon Haben Kelchosef from the son of Ravozna, and he brings a digest of 5 reasons of why the minig is to make the Pidyon Haben by day and not by night. One is for this thing. We want to make sure that the baby lived for already 29 days, 12 hours, and Tashatzak Chalok. Second reason is because when the meal is by day, there's a bigger pirsum for the meal. Third reason, there is a Psaksav Yad they found, Chachmei Ashkenaz, they don't know who. They wrote that the Bechor is considered like Kochim, and you don't do Pidyon Kochim by night. Third reason is because you don't give tzedakah. Fourth reason, you don't give tzedakah by night. Fifth reason, the Marsham is giving the kohen tzedakah. It's a funny reason.
You don't give tzedakah by night.
salary?
Huh? Yeah, you're chayiv. It's a mitzvah.
I have a Kollel meeting at night.
Oh,
A separate
It should
question.
be
We
by
spoke
day.
about it. Spoke about it later. And the other thing is from the Marsham that we do the Pidyon Haben is because they killed the firstborn of the Egyptians, and at midnight some of them died, but some of them, the big Rishon, needed to suffer. So the Eibishter made that they started to die at midnight, and by Alois HaShachar they finished dying. So we're waiting till Alois HaShachar to thank Hashem for.
Rabbi, you're not allowed to take tzedakah at night, but you're allowed to give.
All these reasons, besides the third reason, it could all, it's a gates on the hand. The main reason I think really is the first reason. Because first of all, if you're looking who's saying what, it's the Noida B'Yehuda, Akiva Eger, others. The ones that say the first reason are the big hitters. So I think that's the real reason. And I think that the main reason does not apply here. We say Taka the minig is, but you see the Shach didn't have a problem to make the Pidyon Haben by night if it was a tiny sibah. Question was the night before, the night after. But maybe you could do the Pidyon on the tinus and then like the Briz, the Suda by night, maybe this. But he never had a problem saying, you can't make a Pidyon by night, forget it. So even though here in Avosna his son writes, Haloch Lamaisa, Kama v'kama poiskim kosu shaminik shaloi livdes ba'alayla v'ein l'shanas balo tam v'siba. Has to be a strong tam. But I think what's the strong tam? Because if you're going to make it Friday morning, technically you're not supposed to invite more than 1 million. Technically you're not supposed to invite anyone that's not Kroivim. You're supposed to have a Suda, the Farsa Manes. How many people are showing up for steaks and fries and black coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning?
And that's a work day.
And it's a work day. Le'idach, if you're Thursday night, you're gonna have a fleshik asuda little shishi. Everybody's gonna come. So what are you telling me? L'farsa manes, you're gonna be mahapach kaid al piyah. You're gonna tell me the reason the minig is to make it, but it happens to be in America Friday morning.
Although in Israel, Friday is a day off. So
In Israel. So, but here in America, where Friday people are bold because they need to get to work and get back on time, and it's much nicer to make a Suda on Thursday night. So I think there's no problem to make in this case, because the kid was not born on Wednesday. If the baby was born on Wednesday, the minig is to make it b'yom lamed aleph and by day, not by night. You don't break the minig. But this baby was not born on Wednesday. He was born be'emes Bein Hashomosos. And when the nurse wrote that the baby was born on 6:56, the baby was really born probably a few minutes before that.
The nurses are pretty active.
Naniach even if it's before even the sun went 5.5 under the horizon. So, and Kenzach Zayin, she's off by a minute or two. But even if not, it's Bein Hashomosos. So this is not a regular. The minig is that a baby that's born on Wednesday, that you go 4 weeks later from Wednesday to Friday, and you do it the next day after Alois HaShachar. But this baby was not born on Wednesday. He was born be'emes Bein Hashomosos of Tuesday and Wednesday. All the other reasons, Kochim Balayla is taka, but none of our pois can bring it. So the main reason, all the other reasons, it falls apart in your hands. And the main reason is because the minig is to wait till the baby for sure lived for 29 and a half days. But this baby was born not on Wednesday. He was born, huh?
The Rav's not afraid other people will look at them and say, "Oh, you can make Pidyon Haben."
No, but why? Because you see that the Shach, when it was the Shach when it was on.
Yeah.
So Bedova Kal, that maybe because if they're going to do the pidyon on the tinus and make the suda banana, it won't be so nickets. So you see, Bedova Klal, he pushed it away. I think that in this case, if so, I think it's in Chaim's hands. Whatever Chaim would like to do. If he wants to do a Friday morning, he could do a Friday morning because it's not like a Pidyon Haben, which was a oinus that the Alter Rebbe says that you're not allowed to do it on Friday. This is this man. It was born Bein Hashomosos, and whenever it's a suffix, you count it the next day. It's fine. It's not a problem. If he wants to have steak and fries 8 o'clock in the morning, no problem. But if he wants to do it Leil Shishi, which I think then is going to be a much bigger Pirsum and Isa. There's no question that there'll be triple the amount of people that will come to the Sudas Pidyon Haben if it's done Thursday. The Shki is not so late these days. The Tzeisak Echavim, if you go with 6 points on the horizon, 6 degrees, by 7 o'clock, you could start the Suda. It's perfect timing, a Thursday night. Thursday, and it's
Also,
next
the whole
week.
Am Hadrat Melech.
Yeah, you'll have
It's
it.
a beauty.
Yeah, you have it. When I saw so I think there's no question. Huh?
Even though the timing doesn't match up on the baby being alive for that long.
No, the baby was for sure alive that long. There's no question. It was pushed off because the baby was born on the Tuesday, Wednesday. Could be what's a chazaf? It could be the baby was really born on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Lagabi, the minute we could say the baby was born maybe on Tuesday. But okay.
It's Rosh Hashanah. It's Ben Rishon after Shloshim Tifta.
Ah. Huh?
The Rosvar, no?
All right. Very good.
What do you say?
Gracious. Say it again.
Ben Rishon after Shloshim Tifta.
Wow. Shkoyach. So Bazoi Achashloshim Yom Tivta. So the emphasis, this is ironclad. You wait 30 days. But there is an Indian of Zirizim Magdim al Mitzvahs to try to do the Pidyon Haben as soon as possible. So usually the minig is to wait from the night to the next day because it's still all part of the same day, and it's a minig, and there's a certain mile of doing it by day. But I think in America, where Friday people in a rush, and you want to make a fleish kasud at 8 o'clock in the morning, and anyway, with the shaila, there's a shaila if you're allowed to invite more than 10, if you're allowed to invite people that are not kroivim. I think in this case he should make it Thursday night, unless he wants to make it Friday morning. It's not bad.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If it's a minhag, that means it's definitely not in the Torah, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of the Minhag Yisrael and Torah, he
Right.
Minhag hofech ledin.
Yeah. That's true. Anyway, to summarize one more time, I think if Chaim would like to make the Pidyon Haben Friday morning, it's not a problem.
Are we
If he
invited?
wants to make, huh? Sure.
Now, by a bris, people don't have invitation. What about by a Pidyon Haben?
By the breeze,
What's
you
the
have
minhag
good
by-
excuse. Eliyahu Navida, you want to sing.
Right.
A Pidyon Haben, yeah.
He doesn't come?
But Pidyon Haben, that says in Sforim that by eating at the meal of Pidyon Haben, it's as if you fasted Pei Dalet Taniyas.
Yes.
Oh,
So people love to come to eat.
It's very important.
It's as if you fasted 84 times.
that's wild.
It's amazing.
It's
It's a big kapara.
So you don't have to fetch Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av.
No, that's right.
So someone was here by the Tanya Shir and he asked me about it. So I told him there was a mashpia in Lubavitch, Shlomo Chaim Kesselman. He was a shliach. He was in Israel and the yeshiva in Lud. So he would say, yeah, there's certain. It's ki'ilu you fast 84 taniyas. There's certain avedas that it's ki'ilu, like hakoyas ki'ilu over the avodah zarah. So when you want to be mechaper for that, you go to Pidyon Haben and it's a pay dalet taniyas, which is ki'ilu.
I see.
Okay. We have a few minutes. I can go to the first and the last shaila.
Thank you.
The first shaila, really, we spoke right before Yom Tov, but I left it with a shaila and I found the answer. That's what I wanted. Let's just read it inside. The Alter Rebbe says in the Siddur, Kol HaBrachos Halolu, the Birchas HaShachar Mavorach Afilo Lein Eschayev Ben. Tigoin Shenir Kol HaLayla V'lei Poshem Begoda V'lei Lovish Chedim. That there's three opinions about Birchas HaShachar. We paskin that even if you're up all night, you make the Birchas HaShachar. Elosh Im Nir Kol HaLayla. If you were up all night, V'lein Eschayev Ben, and he wasn't obligated, he didn't get dressed and undressed, he didn't put on his belt, he v'chulu. He only makes this bracha at Aloy Shach because it's Birchas HaShachar. So you have to wait for Amud HaShachar. If he slept by night, if he slept and he became obligated to make the bracha. For example, he took off his clothing, he wore pajamas, and now he put on his clothes, he put on his pants, he put on his belt. So now, Al Bisharumim, and the other brachas, whatever it is, he became chayiv. He heard a rooster crow. Yochel leborach miyad shenischayiv behem ubelvad sheyiyah mei chatzois halayla ve'elach has to be after chatzois halayla. What happened was last time I said that the Eish Lavram said at Tzorachim. Where did Alter Rebbe pick up this thing of chatzois? This is that the Alter Rebbe said that if you did not sleep, that you have to wait for Aloy Shach. I understand, because there's three opinions, and we going with the opinions that says that Birchas HaShachar is a key for every person. Okay, but that opinion also holds that it's Birchas HaShachar, which by definition means you're waiting for Aloy Shach. So if you didn't sleep, you have to wait at least for Aloy. But if you slept, and you listened because you took off your clothing, you put on other clothing, so Mal Misharom, you should make the Beracha. But who told the Alter Rebbe that you have to wait for Chatzois? A person works at night. He goes to sleep 6 o'clock in the evening, and he wakes up 11 o'clock, and he takes off his pajamas, he puts on his pants, and puts on his belt. Out there, no, you have to wait for Chatzois Halayla to make Birchas HaShachar. You have to be Neschayev. If you didn't hear a chicken, then you can't make the Baruch until Aloy HaShachar. You have to be Neschayev. A and B, you have to wait for the fact you have to be Neschayev. I understand, but what's the Chatzois? That's the question that the Eish Lavram asked. So in the Alter B'Shechnoch, the Alter Rebbe writes, "Amashkem koydem oira yom Yochel Laborach called say that a baruch is chutz from Birchas Anois Lasech." Shechnoch, the Alter Rebbe writes, if you wake up, went to sleep, you wake up, you could say all the barachas. Besides Anois Lasechvi, Pashatom sheyamtem al Omer Atchir Yom V'Shama Kol Tan Kol Yochel Laborach Anois Lasechvi Miyadach Chatzois Halayla.
They talk about like early.
No, the B'Chat Sheruv.
Oh,
David Vorman,
oh.
Rabbi Warman. And he's considered a very flush replacement. Consider Sherebe.
Last 100.
Yeah. There is in the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, there is the original footnotes in the bottom. In the original footnotes in the bottom, it says to look in Kisvei Arizal. So I looked in the Kisvei Arizal, and here is a quote. He writes like this: Birchas hanoisen lasech b'bina kvaroi daiticha. Kollel hu koydem chatzois halayla. V'layla hu acher chatzois halayla. Interesting chiddush. There's Leil and Laila. Leil Shimuri, right? And there's Laila. Arizal says that Leil is a hagdora for koydem chatzois halayla. Laila is acher chatzois halayla. V'alkein onim avorchem baruch hu acher chatzois halayla ve'elach. That's why we'll make this bracha after Chatzois. V'sechvi u Gabriel soy da gvura. V'chatze Laila n'mshachas hores habina v'gvura. That after Chatzois Halayla there's hamshocha from bina into gvura. V'zeh masha kosav, v'zeh masha omar anoisam l'sech v'bina. That the Eibishter gives to Sechvi, which is Gabriel, he gives him bina. V'ozim amtekes besoid masha kosav v'yovel lo yain. That he brought him wine, he put him water in it. The yoim is the yain misameach. The laila is yain mishaka. But after Chatzois, even though laila is the yain of yain mishaka, yoim is misameach. So, but after Chatzois, is already sweetened the judgment. Shehud Agidei Yain HaMesamech HaNimshach Ma'amina V'hi Mavchin Bein Yom U'Bein Loila. What do I see from this Arizal? I see from this Arizal, besides the nice thing about Sechvi, I see a Hagdora, Hagdora, which is a Negei Lahaloch. Usually we think when the Goyim say that the day starts at midnight, that it's tam, it's sort of Tzrita Bekoisel, it's arbitrary, it means nothing. And the truth is, it's nothing because they changed the clock and they made it playing games with but usually Chatzos Halayla should be at 12 midnight. According to that Izal, there is a Hagdor of Chatzos Halayla not only for Tikkun Chatzos, but that before that is called Lail, and then it's called Laila. And there is already Ha'ores Hayoim B'toich Halayla, because that's already a Inyan Apikabola, that there's a little bit of Amshocha of sweetening the judgment of night through the Hamshocha of day into the night. But that happens after Chatzos Halayla. The bottom line is, you see that there is a Hagdora. Before Chatzos Halayla, it's called Leil Shemurim, and then there's a Laila Hazeh. Laila is Acher Chatzos. So 1 second. So we see that Chatzos has a din of a certain Zman that already connects to the next day. So therefore, this could be a Shoresh. So what the Alter Rebbe says, we know that the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch even if it was Machad or something, he didn't explicitly say it. So therefore, in the Shulchan Aruch, he says, "Amashkim koidem oirayom yochel avorach kol tzeit brachas," which is mashma that he doesn't say chatzos. He doesn't mashma. Number one, even if it was not nischayv, and number two, even if it's before chatzos. But he doesn't spell it out one way or the other way. Sheikh in the Siddur, where he made it very clear. It's not a stira between Sheikh. He just didn't make it clear in the Shulchan Aruch that because the Arizal holds that Chatzos Halayla already has a little bit of a Oris Hayoin. So when you wake up and you put on your pants, you put on your belt, you're in a Schayev in the Brachas, but you have to wait to Chatzos Halayla because that's a certain Agdor in Chatzos Halayla.
That's what Chatzos is saying. The Rocket has to be a
Yeah. No, he doesn't say that. No, it's not much more. He woke up, and whenever he woke up, he went to sleep. He woke up, and he put on his pants, he put on his belt. Now he has to wait after Chatzos to make the brach.
So even though it's before Amar Shachar,
He had to sleep Shir Shina, no question. He has to sleep.
It should be a night. You have to sleep at night.
so even though it's before Amar Shachar, because it's after Chatzos, it's like the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, to summarize the din, which already,
It makes a big difference if you plan to go back to sleep or not.
yeah, if you're going back to sleep, let him just go back to sleep and say tomorrow. What's
He's gonna be awake for 2 hours here. He's gonna learn, and then he's gonna say, go back to sleep again at 3 o'clock.
so you have to look at Simon Vav. The Alter Rebbe says you can only say the broch is, you can only say it once, like a Lakai Neshama. So you have a choice. You say it then or you say it later when you wake up again. Yeah, you can do it either way. Okay, so bottom line is that we see from the Rizal that Chatzos Halayla has certain Hagdora Pidin. Okay.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
it said, הנותן לשכבי בינה להבחין בין יום ובין לילה. We know Sefri, the chicken. Here it said it's Gabriel. So only Gabriel the Malach know להבחין בין יום ובין לילה?
Oifi Oifev, זה Malach Gabriel. זה Medrash. Oifi Oifev.
He's the only one can be muffin between everybody has to be muffin. I hear the chicken make kukuriku. I know it's the night.
Okay, there's shot on this side. Okay, the last, we have a few minutes. I want to add one more thing to the discussion today. 770, the minig is that the first day after Yom Tov, Yisur Chag, there's always a Kinus Torah. It's in Yeruchni, the Rebbe wanted to connect the Kedush of the Yom Tov with the rest of the year, by Yisur Chag, through a Kinus Torah. I always have Rosh Hashiva, sometimes I'm Mashpiyim, talking. It should be Chidushim or Pilkulim. So I wasn't there, but I got Chazorah from my brother. So there is a Mashpia in the Chabad Yeshiva in Toronto. We had a thesis about an Indian like this. There is certain things that we're worried about because there's Ruach Ra, or there is Mazikim, or Ayin Hora. For example, water that's been in a metal can overnight Chazal says a sakona.
When it's
Yeah,
when it's
like a
uncovered.
Coca-Cola.
When it's uncovered.
Covered, uncovered, machnish place. That's a different thing. Uncovered water is a separate issue. It can be in a plastic cup.
That's about snakes, but
That's
here
snake.
we're talking beyond that.
Yeah, nothing to do. Then there is
You mean, Tony, if it's open, if you can't.
open, closed, doesn't matter. It can be sealed with 100 seals. We have Shabbos, we have and then there's this other thing. Chazal say that if water was not in the well when it was Tekufah, there's 4 Tekufahs in the year, right? It's sakona, because ruach ra. Sakona, it's ruach ra. We find there's a lot of discussion about it. Lepoil, we're makel about it, right? Who doesn't have this hot water Shabbos sitting in a metal thing over, right? And you take tea and coffee Shabbos morning from it. Lagabi the Tekufah, the Rebbe said he brought up 7, 8 different issues that are ruach ra, mazikim, shadim. Where the Rebbe was very makel. The Rebbe held that if already dosha borabim, if people are makel, then it's not shaykh the inyan of ruach ra, it's not shaykh mazikim. When someone writes a letter to the Rebbe, they're scared from ayin hara. The Rebbe said, "You're Lubavitcher Chosser," and Yos, we're chassidim of Yosef Atzadik and Yosef Yitzchak Shneisen, and Mezerah the Yosef Kesina is not choishish from ayin hara, so there's not shaykh to say ayin hara.
That's a good word.
So we find a lot of
Although
things.
we do the test of time for ruach ra.
That's a different ruach ra. That's a different ruach ra. Oh, it's different ruach ra.
Okay.
It's a different ruach ra. It's spiritual. We're talking about mazikim. So we see that the Rebbe was very, very makel on different issues. On the Neufel, when the Neufel Tekufah, Ayin Hora, Barzel, the Rebbe was very makel. Many chuvas. On the other hand, on medical issues, the Rebbe was very, very, very nervous. Whenever a new, sonograms, for example, this is always in Lubavitch, X-rays. The Rebbe was nervous that maybe the doctors are lying and the medical community is not being so honest. That the radiation could be strong.
Doctor there.
Yeah, but the Rebbe was so when you're not there. Kids, the Rebbe was a little okay. So contrast. Why? Why over here the Rebbe was machmer as Michael? Right. It was closer that they're a mold, they lie and they're magzah. I want to give his pshat because I think it was a very nice pshat. I wouldn't have thought of his pshat. Said, look, a physical sakon is a sakon. But it was very closhish. But ruach ra is we're getting very close to days of Mashiach. And the Rebbe sees already that ruach hatum ave min haaretz. Ruach hatum ave min haaretz. And if we're going to paskin lekula, so we're going to help that it should be because Torah loy b'shamayim. So when we're going to paskin lamata, that don't worry about things that are mishemruch ra, and find all kinds of reasons why to states not stop going like this. Find all kinds of reasons. Dosha borabim, zera Yosef kasina. So the Rebbe found all kinds of things to be makel, because these things that have shaykhs with mazikim and ruach ra, because we're getting close to the days of Mashiach, as the ruach has tuma avim and oretz. So I think it's a nice word. That when Mashiach is going to come, all these things are not going to apply. So mazikim is going to be mevatel them. There's a machloikis. Either he's going to be mevatel them that they're not going to hurt us, or they'll become shamoshim toivim. Either it's kafia, it's hapka. Okay, but either way, they're not going to be here to be mazik. So all these things that are there, mishum chashash of mazikim, are not going to apply b'moisa Mashiach. The said Rabbi Man that because we're coming close to Moisa Mashiach, they never had an in the paskin that's Veseruach Hatum Avim in Haaretz. Maybe shall help that we're going now from Shabbos Bereshis into the winter to avoid Hashem of Yaakov Holach Ladarke to avoid the Mesuda de avoid the Friedrich Rebbe said that Hakofis, the Eibishter gives us a lot of koiches, spiritual koiches and physical koiches. The Hakofa, he gives it us on loan. And then Medaf Fananda pack and the Peklach, to take the packages apart and start using the koiches that the Eibishter gives us, that we should have a gesunte winter. We shouldn't know of any ruach ra, but ruach hatum avim and oretz befias Mashiach tzedkenu.
Amen.
How many people did we have now?
I watched.
Yeah. Anyway.